Alright, what's going on guys, this is the Boxing Genius here, and today we'll look at the fight between McClellan versus Benn. One of the most tragic fights in boxing history. And yeah, this is just a matter of, being able or not being able to utilize your reach and being overwhelmed by the punches. But yeah, there's a lot more into this than that, and that's what I'm going to explain for this video. Now, the fight started with this nasty knockdown from McClellan, where he just decided to throw chopping rights after chopping rights. And the reason why he was doing that was because Benn kept on ducking, right? And by ducking down, he is basically giving more and more leverage for McClellan to throw that chopping right hand. So as you can see here, okay, by dipping down, you're giving more space, or you're giving more room for McClellan to place that chopping right and then follow it through. So boom, okay, again, it stays low, boom, and then it stays even lower, and look how much leverage that is. Oh my goodness, that shit is fucking nasty. So boom, boom, by ducking down, he gives a lot of leverage to Benn McClellan, to Benn. All right, so over here, you're gonna see him duck down again, and whenever he missed, or whenever McClellan missed, all he has to do is shoot a body shot, okay? And the body shot is meant to force Benn to lean more onto his right side. Okay, and over here, again, after that body shot, I just told y'all, okay? Chopping right, boom, left hand to the body. What is that gonna do? That's gonna force Benn to block his body and then lean more to the right, which is what he did. Right now, he's leaning more onto the right side. And that gives more space, that gives more leverage for McClellan to throw his right hand from. And then there, he leans over to the right again, boom. Leans over to the right again, leans over to the right again, and watch how beautifully McClellan times him. Whenever he is leaning over to the right side, whenever Benn is leaning over to the right side, that's when he throws it. So ducks to the left, right, boom, okay? Right, boom, duck right again, boom. So chopping, just a chopping right, and utilizing the defense of Benn to land his low chopping right. Now the problem started to arise when Benn started to notice that before he threw the right hand, he will always stretch his lead hand out. This is what I call the sword, okay? Mayweather calls it a blinder, but it's basically a way to measure the distance and to blind your opponent, right? To control their head and measure the opening as well. So that's what he noticed. So over here, you're gonna see him do a slight stretch of the lead hand. Okay, right there. And then Benn started noticing this, so after he stretches his lead hand again, Benn will now time him with the left. Okay, and then over here it did not land. So again, notice how he uses that blinder once, one, blind again, two, and then Benn times him after he throws that, because Benn already knows that a right hand is gonna come after that, right? So he thinks in advance, and he tries to land the left hook first before McClellan can even throw his right hand. So there, he threw a left hook counter. Boom, okay? Now watch this one again. He's gonna stretch his lead hand again. And this is really the danger of stretching out the sword or sticking out the sword against someone who's not yet that hurt, and against someone who's still fighting back. I have nothing against using this sword and sticking out the lead hand against a fighter who doesn't fight back anymore, okay? But against a fighter who's still punching, who's still countering, it's very dangerous. It's very dangerous. And this is the reason why Ryan Garcia got knocked the fuck out, right? He kept on stretching his lead hand and tried to defend himself with that. But the truth is, it's just not the most sustainable kind of defense. Trying to stretch out your lead hand with the hope that your opponent will be overwhelmed by it is just not the way to go. For beginners it might be, but for advanced guys, they can counter you. So again, he's gonna stretch his lead hand out, and watch how Benn ducks down. Benn ducks down, okay? And then he's gonna throw a left hook before McClellan can even throw the right hand, okay? Ducks down under that sword and then throws a left hook. Now this is gonna happen again here. Watch how he stretches out the sword, sticks out the sword. Boom, okay? And then watch how Benn decided to get inside of that and then throw his left hand before McClellan can even throw the right hand. So he throws the left hook before McClellan can even throw the right hand. Now, with that being said, here's what he decided to do, okay? What he decided to do was, he decided to try, or let's look at the leaping left hooks first, okay? Let's look at more examples. So here again, he's gonna duck down under that sword and then throw a leaping left hook. Now this is when he's out of distance. So over here is kind of far, so he decided to leap in. So there were two left hooks here. Number one is the left hook without the leap, and then number two was the leaping left hook. So let's just look at a few examples so that we can make this quick. Boom, okay. Here's another one right here, leaping left hook. He's not in the distance, he's quite far, so he decided to leap in. So those were the two left hooks. Now, what did McClellan try to do? Well, what McClellan tried to do was this. He decided to try and frame the left shoulder of Nigel Benn in order to avoid Nigel Benn from throwing that left hook. Now, what's the consequence of this? Nigel Benn will now use the right hand, okay? Now that he knows what McClellan is trying to do by framing that left shoulder of his and avoiding him from throwing this left hook, he's gonna now go over the top with the right hand, which is a classic move. Boom. Right there, it did not land, but later on you're gonna see it landing. So he sticks out the sword not in front of the head no more, but in the left shoulder. So I'm pretty sure you're seeing it now. Let's see where he places the sword here. Here he tries to place it on the right hand, but it was too late, okay? He went over the top now, and that's it. So McClellan decided to now frame the right hand, okay? So now he was framing the right hand. He's back to framing the right hand. So a while ago he was trying to frame the left side because Nigel Benn kept on landing the left. Once Benn started to land the right, now he's trying to block the right shoulder, okay? So he places the sword now, not on the left side, but on the right side because he's trying to avoid this right hand. Okay, and he's now keeping his right glove up to avoid the follow-up left hook. But it was too quick. The left hook is too quick. He doesn't even get to see it, right? And then he got caught with the left hook. While he was framing, while he was trying to stretch his sword, right? While he was trying to push down the right shoulder of Benn, Benn took advantage. He saw the opening. He saw this right hand down, so he threw a left hook. Boom. He sneaks that in and then smothers right away. And then there's the leaping left. Boom. Another leaping left, okay? So here he slips inside, and then Benn tries to, or McClellan tries to push him, or tries to, again, keep his lead hand out, stretch it out, but again, it's too late. Now let's look at the knockout real quick. So here's the knockout right here. You're gonna see the dangers of sticking out the sword. You're gonna see the dangers of sticking out the sword in this fight, I'm telling y'all. McClellan had the length, but he wasn't able to use that with his right, or he wasn't able to use the length or the blinder, the sword, at the right time, okay? He was trying to do it when Nigel Benn was getting fired up. He was trying to do it when Benn was throwing all kinds of counters over that sword. So over here, he's gonna try to use that sword again, try to throw a tapping left hook, okay? Sticking out the sword, and then he tries to throw a tapping left hook, boom, and then fakes a right, and watch how he uses, or watch how he tries to stretch that lead hand again after he threw that right hand. So here he tried to stretch it out again, but it was too late, okay? Nigel Benn gave him the impression that he was much lower than he was, so watch how low this lead hand gets, and watch how he's trying to basically put this on the right shoulder of Nigel Benn, but in reality, Nigel Benn is not really that low, okay? He was just setting him up so that this lead hand will be low enough, and this right hand can be placed in a position where it can land on the head of McClellan. So this sword really does not mean anything because it's too low to even block anything. So that he was able to sneak that in. Sneak in the right, okay, boom. And then that's pretty much the end of it, okay? This was the beginning of the end. After this, it should have been stopped, but it wasn't. Let's look at the second one, which ended the fight. Let's see how this happened. I don't really remember anything, or I don't remember the exact punch which stopped the fight, but let's see this one. They're in the pocket, they're trying to wrestle. He throws a right hook and then an uppercut. The uppercut ends it. That was it for this video. Again, the dangers of using the sword. I recommend using the sword only when you know that your opponent is really humiliated, and only when you know that your opponent is really in a position where they cannot fight back anymore. When they're tired, when they're hurt, when they cannot hit you, that's the time you should use it. That's why Floyd can get away with this all the time, because he knows that he has already dominated the opponent. So look at his fight with Cotto. The only time he used a blinder, the only time that he sticks out his sword, is when Cotto was already defenseless, when Cotto was already not punching back, was not fighting back. So that was it. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace. I have a Patreon as well. Thank you.